So hello guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. So in this tutorial video, we are gonna learn about how to create an 3D images rotating type, and also we are going to add our animation effects. Okay, so let's now move forward to our code. As you can see that I write down a CSS file. Okay, which I give them the margin and padding as a 0, box sizing is border box, and here I use our div class and ABC. Okay, so I'm going to use here our images, so I'm going to give them here a span tag. Okay, now inside the span tag I'm going to use our style here. I use here dash dash I as a 1. You can do anything. Okay, if you want to write A or anything. Okay, so I use here I. Now let's write down here image src for our images. Now let's write down here one image dot jpg. Let's just copy this one, paste, paste. We are going to take as much as example here images. Okay, so I give them the second name. Here is third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seven, eight, nine. Okay, I'm going to use here 9 images, guys. So firstly I'm going to write down all images name, different images. Now let's them save. Now our main code is here in our CSS file. So I'm going to write down here our body firstly. Okay, we give them the body firstly. Okay, so I write down here body, curly brackets open and close. Then I'm going to write down here display as a flex. Then let's write down here justify content as a center. If you want to write left or right, you can also do that. So I give them the align items as a center. Okay, now let's write down here minimum height or minimum width according to your image. You can also do that here. So I'm going to write down here 400 vertical height because my image dimension is too big. That's why I write down here 400. If your image dimension is medium or low level, so you can also write 100 vertical height. Okay, now let's add some background as a gray and save. Let's refresh it. So as you can see, this is how it look like. This is our images. Let's see it in 33 25%. This is my Google Chrome 25%. This is how it looks like. Now this is the background gray color. Now let's adjust some pics here. Okay, so for that we need to write down here ABC, curly brackets open and close, position as relative, and let's write down here width 250 pixel. Now let's write some height as a 300 pixel. So let's refresh it. Sorry guys. If you want to add the size of the image, for that you need to write down your class name, span tag, and also the image, means img image, which we use here. As you can see, this tag you need to use for set our images. We are also going to set, but let's first start with this one as a transform, as a style, as a preserve 3D, then save. Then these are going to preserve in a 3D mode. Okay, which I already told you we are going to use our 3D, as you can see. Now let's write down our a dot abc span, curly brackets open and close, position as a absolute. Now let's give them the top as a 0 if you want the top left or right. According to your need, you can write down here. I don't need that, so I write down here 0. This is a vertic width as a 100%, and height as a 100%. Okay. Now let's just write down our transform origin as a center and also our transform style, which we use as a preserve 3D. Then save. Now we are going to use our dot abc span image for our image size. Okay, so I give them here position as a absolute. Then our top, I don't need that, so I write down here 0. Template position, I don't need that, so I write down here 0. Then our width as a 100 percentage. Okay, now let's write down our height. I need 100% height. Okay, because my dimension is too big, so I write down here 100. According to your image, you need to write down that. So object feed as a cover, I take it here. Then save. So I give them the 100% zoom of Google Chrome firstly. Then I am going to refresh it. It takes some time, don't worry. As you can see, my image is here in center mode. As you can see, there's one image here, but it's going in the background because we use too many images here in the center mode. Okay, so let's give them the rotate animation. So before we do that, we need to write down here, as you can see, which we use here our I variable. So we need to write down that. So I'm going to write down in our span. So let's write down here transform as a firstly rotate. If you want left to right, so you need to write down X, but I want right to left, so I write down here Y. Here you need to write down your calculate as a variable dash dash I, which I use here. Then let's add some degree here, so I write down here 45 degree. Now let's write down here our translate Z. According to your pixel, you need to write down here, guys. Okay, I write down here 400 pixel. Then let's press it. So as you can see, this is my three images here. If I write down here as 800, okay, then let's refresh it. So as you can see, it gives the space here, as you can see. So according to your need, you need to write down here that space. I don't need that space right now. If I write down here 180 degree, then refresh it. So as you can see, this one image and other is not, because I give them the 180 degree, that's why. So let's give them the original degree which we use, 45 degree. Then refresh it. Okay, so this is how our look like in center mode. Okay, now let's add some our animation effects here, guys. Okay, so for animation we are going to use our ABC class. So I write down here animation and I give them the name as a pick, whichever you need to write. Let's give them the 25 second as a linear infinite. Then save. It's not going to start animation here, guys. Okay, because we need to give them the keyframes. We didn't give the keyframes here, that's why. So let's add some keyframes here. So let's write down here keyframes. You need to write down your name. I use here pick, then curly brackets open and close, 0%, transform as a perspective. I give them the year as a 1000 pixel, or if you want to give them the as a, let's give them 1200. Then rotate as a Y angle, which I need. According to your angle, you can do that here. I need Y angle, that's why I write down here. Let's just copy this one. Let's give them the 100%. When it goes to 100%, then it's going to become the 360 degree. Then save. Let's refresh it, guys. Okay. So as you can see, guys, this is showing our all images. Okay, this is showing our all 9 images here, guys, and this is our animation, guys. Okay, animation effects. If you want this image also down here, you can also do that, guys. Okay, so for that, let's write down our last code. So I'm going to write down here in our abc span webkit as a box reflect. Okay, so let's write down here as a below as a 0 pixel, then save. Let's firstly see how it looks like. Then we add our linear gradient colors and all. It takes some time. As you can see that, guys, our image is down here. Okay, if you want to give them the space here, you can also do that. So for space, you need to write down here. Let's write down here 20 pixel. So according to your space, it's going to show it here. Let's refresh it, and as you can see, there's a space here. So this is how you can do that. If you want to add a linear gradient here, you can also do that. So let's add our linear gradient. So I've written down here our linear gradient as a transparent. Firstly, as a second one is also as a transparent. Okay. Then hashtag 009. 9 is your opacity here, guys. Okay. So let's refresh it. So as you can see that, guys, this is how animation works here, guys. As you can see, this is which I use here linear gradient. If you want to add your opacity higher, you can also do that. So let's write down here as a 1, then save. Let's refresh it. So as you can see, this is how your opacities look like. If I do that here as a, let's give them as a 9 and here as a 0 pixel. Okay, and refresh. So as you can see, if you don't want to transparent this first one, okay, then save and refresh it. So as you can see, this is how it looks like. If you don't want all this color as a transparent, you can also do that by doing this. Then save. It takes some time, guys. It didn't showing yet because we use here our color this one black. That's why. That's why I've write down here as a transparent so you can at least see that, and refresh it. because we use a black color and opacity as a low, that's why it didn't show it in here. But if you write down transparent, then it's going to look like this. And this is our linear gradient animation, as you can see. So that's for the all today, guys. If you have any query, write down in the comment section. And also for the source code, also write down your email ID in the comment section. Okay, guys, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Okay, bye.